This is how you will become a true groove expert.
Strong you are. Become a groove master. You will.
Hang on tight. That's today's video. Let's go do it right now. Hey, what's up? I'm Low Kitchen and thank you for checking out yet another video. Now, if this is your first time here, don't hesitate to click subscribe and hit that notification bell. Whenever I upload a new video, you'll be kept in the loop and you'll not miss out on anything. Stick around till the end of this video. I'll tell you all about Discord, Patreon, about our community, about making some music, about getting closer, and how to interact with like-minded synth folk. When you ask anyone about what is groove, you get funny answers like being in the pocket, or that feeling when you get when you just can't resist what's happening, and it's all vague, right? So groove can mean many things if you ask different musicians. The in the pocket is more of a jazz kind of vibe. In the pocket meaning you feel what's going on. Now, I debate that groove is not the notes being played, but it's the notes not being played. So the space in between the notes is what makes up the groove. Again, vague. So if you have to look at it from a technical standpoint, let's say, for instance, look at the TR-909 drum computer. Now, that machine, in all its glory, has been made to be the perfect drum machine of its time, which means technology at the time was not as advanced as it is today. Meaning, it's tight, but not as tight as what musical instruments nowadays are. Meaning, you, and I will dare you, get a 909 drum computer and hook it up to a DAW, record that bass drum for maybe 2-3 days and look at the grid. If you can find a bass drum that's 100% on the grid at all times, you're lucky. So it means that there is a lag, which for a drum computer is not ideal. However, in this case, it made up for a groove. So the push and pull, the trying to stay in the groove, trying to stay on the beat, made for a unique feel that was uncanny and unheard of at the time. Well, we all knew what happened, you know? Everybody just like, in America, dove on it, made house music with it, hence 40 years later, here we are talking about synthesizers. Now, there's two other machines that I'd like to address as well, that I do think have a groove, coming from an interpretation standpoint. So talking about the TB03 or 303, you can debate that machine, and the DFAM, drummer from another mother. Why they have a groove is because of the suggestion of notes. Stuff that is being played that you won't hear because of either their pitch or their velocities or their filter, whatever. They make up ghost notes. They give a suggestion of a groove, of a scale of notes going in a certain direction, and you won't necessarily hear them unless you tweak the filter knob, and then all of a sudden there they are. So they're hiding in the darkness. That makes up for another groove, because those low notes, you will probably not hear them. You'll feel them on a big sound system, and that makes for another cadence, a physical representation of what's happening in the groove. Now, two things. The machines I just spoke about, the TR-909, the DFAM, and the TB03, have their own sequencer, which means there is a start-stop button on those synthesizers. Meaning you start them, they'll run, and if you wire it up correctly, they'll run in unison, and that's how you can get a groove, because not all those clocks work the same, and the pushing and pulling between machines makes up for a groove again. Then there is Midi, of course. So the 909 does not have to run by itself. You can just tell it the note numbers corresponding to the sounds that are on the drum computer can correspond with note numbers on a keyboard. So you can, if you have some sort of a recording, MIDI recording device, say like for instance the RK008 by RetroKids, you can record those MIDI notes in. So you'll play a keyboard and the keys on the keyboard correspond with the sound, so you can just now make your own groove or your own rhythm section again. I, however, don't think that that's ideal, because of, I just told you about the TR-909 drum computer and its perfection, imperfection kind of clock. I love it. So I'm using it on its own. Then there are bass notes that don't do what drums do, but if you filter them down, as my example a few seconds ago, do the same thing. So the mini guitar, for instance, if you play low notes, they give that heartbeat kind of pulsating sound. You bury the notes in the bottom of the woofer, and that doesn't really need to work in the studio if you got big speakers, but it does work on a big festival sound system. So the physical aspect of people feeling your music is also something that you can come up with. So if you have a pattern 1, 2, 3, 4 on a 4-beat loop, and you place notes in a certain way where the lower notes will punch people in the stomach, and they go like, I like this beat because it's making me physically feel positive. And there you go. So groove is something that you don't need to hear, you can also feel in the pocket. You know what I mean? Today I'm going to give you a few examples, because I do realize talking about groove and being in the pocket, it can go on for days. Running along with the 909 drum computer, trying to get the beats on the grid, right? But I think a few ideas will give you some, some sort of a hook line to latch onto and try out and take it from there. So this is just not a beginner course, because I do think you need to at least know a little bit about how to program drums, but it's kind of an insight, kind of a philosophy that I have. Another thing I'm going to address today is call and response, because this, I do believe, is a big part of getting a groove, a hypnotic groove. So our objective should be making a groove that can run like forever without it getting boring. Need to be hypnotizing a lot, because we're making dance music, right? There you go. So thinking a little bit out of the box, pun intended, for all you dolls people out there. Yeah, if you are ready, then I suggest fasten your seatbelts and let's go. Ready? Yeah. We're running. Okay, so the way we set this up today is different. I said in the intro that I use the 909 drum computer as a clock on its own. Today it's going to be slightly different. So the intricate part here is the RK008 by RetroKids, because what I've done is I've set the 909 drum computer, which is a little bit dusty, as I can see here. Okay, let's dust it off. And there's a pen here that's not supposed to be here. Get out of here! Set the MIDI channel on 15, which means that I now can allocate these different MIDI locations to these channels. So channel 8 is the 909 drum computer, and channel 7 also, because this thing is MIDI mapped through the Arturia Minilab 3, which means that these 8 different pads are mutes. And not only that, this fader is now placing it in record. Again, it's turning record off. So I can now record stuff if I would want to. To get my bearings, to get this perfect groove going, I need some sort of an idea to get started, right? So if you lack inspiration to find out what you're going to do with your groove, the black box is going to also play an intricate part here, as is the DFAM, which you are going to see later. Let's start with the top loop. So then I know where I am in the beat, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on channel 8, and I'm going to place my bass drum there. Now I'm going to set the length, which is 16 beats, which means that this is only 1 bar. But now I get to play different things with the bass drum, as you'll see. Usually is what the 909 plays and then it reloops. But now I get to play different stuff. So 1, 2, yeah, the length is 16 bars. Okay, I'm going to record it. Bam, 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 bam. Okay, I placed a snare there. I'll show you how I take care of that. First, get out of record. Then I'm gonna go to quantize. I see it's already quantized. Now if I hit this, it's quantized on 4. Hit 8, it's quantized on 16 steps. Now that's cool. Now you hear that there's a note that's not supposed to play. I'm going to Alt erase. it says, do you want to erase track 8? No, I only want to erase this note. So now it says note 38. Boom. And my note's gone. So that's cool. So if I make a mistake, I can take out notes. That's also a very cool part. Now, what I would like to do is place thumbs here. And the thumbs are very important. I've got my thumbs here. Bam, 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 yeah? Bam, 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 bam. I'm going to turn off the loop because I don't need it right now, so I'm turning it off. And I got... Let it breathe. Bam, 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 bam. Now let's focus on this for a bit. This gives a feeling of something happening on the first part of the bar. 3, 4, boom, dum, dum, boom. So there's an instant call and response between the kick and the tom already, right? Which I think is a cool part. Now, let's go to another track, because what I would like to do is space out my hats on a different track. So I'll play with a close hat. If I'm convinced I'm cool, I'm going to record. And I should hear. Now, to make sure that I'm not lying, I'm going to mute the first track. 5, 6, 7, and a kick back in. So now all of a sudden, I get to play around with the sound and the structure of the track right here. Very powerful. Let's go to a different track. Also engage this track, say the output is going to be, it says channel original, it needs to be channel 15, otherwise it will not address the drum computer here. So then, cool. Now, the top loop that we had was very busy, but you'll see if I add more stuff with the drum computer, how it's going to get embedded into the drum computer, giving the drum computer a little bit of a modern feel, but enhancing the groove. So let's go in. Let's just wait for my turnaround. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Top loop plays. So now I know that I can't place my clap on the exact same spot because you won't hear it. So I will have to go in and play a counter measure. Wait, let's go for another track because I'm going to play something here. First, let's go output. Let's go 15. Yes, definitely. So now we got it. Here you go. Bam, 2, 3, and bam, bam, 2, 3, and bam, 2, 3, and bam, bam, 2, 3, and bam. See if it's quantized or quantized. No. So boom, 8 or quantized is now. Take it out and record. Boom. So instantly I'm now jamming to this groove, right? Cool. I can mix it or at least level it later. That's what I'm going to do with maybe the 10-10 loop, which is here. You know, I can take it down a little bit. But let's place a hi-hat. We're going to just take care of that. Track 6 is not engaged, so I'm going to place an open hat here, which is not going to play. But if I take out this hat, I can now. Okay, 2, 3, and bam, 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 and quantize it straight. So now, on these two buttons here, I get to decide whether I can play the close hat and then go for a little bit more adrenaline in, which is something you can't do on the 909. So this RK008 is already enhancing my flow. Now, usually if I was to program the rim shot in order to trigger the DFAM, it means that I have to put 16 steps here in order for this thing to turn around on the groove. 8 steps, 16 steps. So this is one sequence length of the DFAM. This would be the other. 1 to 8, 9 to 16, right? Now I've got my, here he is. So, taking out what I have already, and the clap. So my 909 is not playing, the top loop is playing, the closed head's playing. Let's take it out, which means that now you hear. So you can see this is the first step. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1. But what if I would like to get a little bit more groove, or a little bit more sustenance on this thing in the groove? How am I going to get that going? So now I can play something that would turn around on the groove, but does not necessarily have to have all these steps on the grid. So with the kick. Record. Wait a minute, go in. So let's stick this on. Maybe where should I put it? Let's listen what we have. Close, close, open it. Okay, so that is track 5. So we can go into track 4 even, can we? Yeah. Place track 4 on channel 15. And then we have another. I can see my things going, and I will play. That's what I'm going to put the quantize on immediately. So I got the quantize here. Get out of there and play. Oh, I think that went well. So I'm going to get out and say erase the track. Erase track 4. Yes, erase track 4, enter. So let's do it again. I could have just hit stop and then do the same thing. Cool. Because if you do stop while it's in record, it will erase whatever you played and you can replay it. But, well, we did it so. Okay. Going to record 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I missed one. I got all the notes. What I will do is stop this, advance to the last step, and then play it like, there you go. Cool. Now I got a little bit of a groove thingy in there, which I would not play with notes, but play with just, not melody, but just taking it out. Pitching it down, so I got some sort of weird bass line thingy going. Get a little bit of white noise on there, and shortening the notes. Cool. So I got a bit of a weird sort of like thingy in the background that I'm going to bury in the groove a little bit more. Cool. Yep, I'm liking that. So, a hat here, a clap here. Clap is playing already. Wait. Cool. Yeah. Yep. At the beginning of the groove, I'd like to go for the closed hat because I think it doesn't take up too much space. The more highs I'm going to add, the more adrenaline is going to get invoked, right? So, this, see? Boop, boop, boop. Cool. Now I'm going to add that loop in and see how that works again. Now there's something in this loop that is hypnotizing already, something that comes back the whole time. Wham, 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 wham. Listen to it when you're taking. Ding, 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 ding. Something that constantly keeps going. This is what you need to focus on in this groove, because what I'm going to do when I make this beat, I'm going to lower this sound to the point where you can only hear that boom, 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 boom. That needs to come through the beat. The rest is not so important for me. So I'm going to add in my drums and take out that black box a little bit. And now you see it starts to play with the close hat. And the clap that's in there, it's got a bit of a washy attack. And that's what I want. So I need my faders to also be on top of what's happening right here. So I will probably use the the gain on top of the mixer to turn that down, so that that full loop is not going to be as full. Of course it's going to be full, but the same trick as with the velocities on the DFAM. From the minute you don't hear low notes, they will be there, but they won't be as predominantly in your face, which is what you would want now. Get the black box in again. Use a little bit more of that violence. So I'm trying to pitch a note. So I'm pitching it to the bass drum right now. Because the groove that I got here of the toms. Ooh, I'm liking that. So I got two oscillators engaged, right? Let's change the waveform maybe. Go just for that noise oscillator, because I need a little bit of that. Nice. All right. That's cool. I'm liking that. I'm liking that. Cool. So now I got my groove going. Now I think, do I need to add something else? Yes, you've guessed it. Of course, me being a bassline fanatic, I'm going to add a bassline coming from the Midi tower. This is on a completely different Midi channel. So now I'm going to go to my track 1. I still got 1, 2, and 3 that I can use. I used a lot of stuff for my drums, which to me is 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, going. Boom, 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 boom. So I get to play around with my drums right here. This is a cool concept in terms of using the drum composer, the rhythm drum composer TR-909. Mind you though, the groove that you have coming from the clock now is gone. Everything now gets distributed by the RK008 in a sense, right? That's what it is. Okay. This is what the toms are playing. Bum, bum, bum. Now I can debate to play that kind of stuff, but then I would drown out probably. I would probably drown out my my toms. It's not what I want because I really like the sound of them. So they're a bit on the soft side. I might turn them off a little bit. I'll turn them up a little bit. There you go. The low tom and the mid tom, right? Okay. Now I'm going to take out that loop for a little bit. Listen to how. And this is also how I create awesome grooves, because I mimicked what was happening in this loop. And if I take the loop out, I come up with a completely different sort of vibe that I would probably not come up myself, get inspired by what the loop was doing. Okay, so the bass. I can debate now at this point, would I like to go in a little bit more melodic, or would I like to go in and play it a little bit more like straight? I would like to go for a same root note vibe, right? So this is my root note, which is just a basic C. Maybe go in and play something really see if we can do something weird here. Do it again. So once you hit abort, the recording will be gone, but also it will be out of rec mode. So we're gonna go back in. Boom. I can hear that it's not quantized. Take off record, go in and say Alt 6, which is quantized. Press 8, that's 16 step quantized. Cool. Get out of there. And then, yeah, cool. So now I can also mute this. See? Cool. So then you can play around with how you would like your sound to go. Different hat. I think that this is already groovy, right? So what I would want is maybe tweak the sound a little bit. Woo. And now you got that top loop to put a little bit more adrenaline in. Now the only thing that I'm hearing is the it's speeding up the vibe, right? So I got everything that I need for my groove, and I think that this works, right? I'm not going to make it too complicated. Okay, back with my other hat. This is the 994 though. It's not perfect. When you work with a 909 drum computer, of course this works with whatever you got handy or lying about. You can even do this on your DAW, but I love the analog workflow, the DAWless workflow very much, but the 909 drum computer does not come as a mixed project. It does not come as a mixed product. You have to find the levels, you know what I mean? The kick, for instance, could be a little louder in this mix, I think. The bass can be a little bit lower. I'm gonna give it a little bit more envelope maybe. Okay, cool. Let's overdub it, yeah? Play an extra note. Bum, bam, bam. Oh, I'm not sure that I like what's happening right here. Well, let's just like say, take it out. Erase track 1. Erase this note. So that note's gone. Cool. Okay, let's go. Well, you know what? No, I'm going to do it differently. I'm going to take out this note here, and I'm going to stick it on this channel, because now I can also tweak what I think can be done. So I'm going to go in and say, I know this is Midi channel 10, so yeah, this is Midi channel 10. So oops, doesn't. Cool, I think I got it. I need to, of course, quantize this. I can play it on 8. Now, if I say like, ooh, I would like to change the length of this because the first one is good, boom, 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 like there. I say go length. I say 4. It's going to place this on 4 and say enter. Keep the beginning. Yes, I would like to keep the beginning. There you go. So now out of the 16 steps that I had, it's only going to play the first 4. Boom, boom. Right here. This note, let's first be sure and erase this note. Cool. Engage the glide a little bit. There you go. Oh, okay. This is my process. This is how I do it. This is how I think it can work to just like make a perfect groove. If you need to get inspired, get a top loop, play it, and then play it either in your beat or don't play it in your beat. So a few things that I did, if I'm gonna go over it, is like I played this, what's playing right now. So I got everything sitting right here, basically. So, right? So I've got, this is the whole groove. This is what I have. Kicks. Starts with that. Make sure that you got a really good kick that works. That's the first thing. The kick needs to work, it needs to have body enough to just like carry the track. So the more you add, it should not like at some point go like, oh, I'm not hearing the kick anymore. So the kick needs to be really in your face. Now, on my first track, there's two sounds. I have got the toms already here because I know that that will work, right? So I'm gonna go in with my closed hat. And the whole fun part is knowing that if I'm going to play my top loop of the 10th and later, it's always going to fit right in, right? So this is cool, cool. Now, the clap was sitting on here. Bam, cool. Now this is the beat, right? Before I'm going to add music, I will add more drums. So now I think I'm going to place in this top loop, 2, 3, and. Call and response. Bam. So this makes an infinite loop already. If you don't play your clap too loud. So the clap can be a little bit softer and panned out of to one side maybe, so that it will stand out a little bit. Cool, we've got that going, right? Now I think I'm going to be adding the bass line. Nice. Cool. In order for this thing to start, I have to make sure I'm going to go to the last step and then engage run stop, because from the minute I'm going to hit 4, it's going to start running, but you want your sequence to start the way you played it, right? So that's what we're going to do. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and. Cool. Still not pitched perfectly, but that's the thing with a DFAM. I don't think it needs to be, and it's very hard to just really, if you don't know how to pitch maybe a guitar or whatever, it's hard to get it in the same thing. So just like keep the envelopes very short so that you don't hear note information in my case. I think this can be. Am I there? Yeah, I'm there. And I can even think like, okay, now that I hear it, I think I'm gonna take out the bass line and redo the bass line, erase it, say track 1, yep. So I'm going to answer to what's playing here, so record it in. Nice. So now we got the clean sounding bass line right here and the dirty sounding bass line. Nice. Yeah, I'm liking it. Now it's time for that open hat. 1, 2, 3, go. See, more adrenaline, and that's, nah, don't tell me that this groove is not working, right? All right, gang. Wow. Sounds Awful is my new patron for this week, as well as Psyder and Jay. So I think Jay was the only one that I can, with a straight face, pronounce. The others were very creative with their names, and I'd like to thank Psyder for jumping on the chat last week, as he came in and as a new guy faced the regulars that were there, namely people whose name we're not going to name, that will heckle you when you get in there. Brian, I'm just joking. No, Lemmy was there, Doming was there, who else was there? Master D was there, that's Daniel, and then we have Tough Chunks, we got Mickey, aka oh, this is bad.
Much later.
Slim pickings. Yeah, there's a lot of people that come in. Danny's there. It's cool because following this stuff on patreon.com/Analog Kitchen means Patreon has got a bridge into Discord, and on the Discord chats is where we talk synthesize. We're talking about being in the pocket. We're talking about how to conduct yourself as an artist, how to perform, how to get from A to B, what to buy, what not to buy, gas, listening to demos. So you can throw your demos in there as well. I'd like to welcome Grit, also Grit Retro Kids. We hopped him on board. I don't think it was a democratic decision, but we hauled him in there. So pretty soon, any MIDI questions you might have, keep watching this space. We are going to do a Q&A with Grit Retro Kids. So if there's questions you have regarding MIDI, regarding the 008 or 006 or 002, that's this programmable MIDI cable on which you can just do different things. You plug it back in or not. So yeah, that's what we're going to do pretty soon. So stay tuned for that. Now, if you made it this far into the video, you're still listening to me yapping. Thank you very, very, very much. Well, keep watching this space. I will say peace. I'll see you next week on another video.